What's up, everyone? If you haven't been here before, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like movie reviews. I do my takes and I post them up, as well as short films. I create short films. I like writing, acting. I put them up and I like to share them. So please hit that subscribe button and that notification button. Hit those comments up. Let's have a conversation, keep it professional, and let's get straight to it. This movie review was an unexpected movie review. I ended up seeing it over the weekend with my cousins. Weapons. And to be honest, I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I actually enjoyed it. Now, I will say in the beginning of the film, I was a bit restless. Now, I wasn't tired from the day. I saw it in the afternoon. But as soon as I sat down and the movie started, I would say until it got to Josh Brolin's character, because it's like different chapters of different characters, and you have Julia Garner, who recently played Silver Surfer in a Fantastic Four movie, and you have Josh Brolin, who plays Thanos in the MCU and many other films, and then you have other actors who I've seen before. Alden Ehrenreich, I believe that's his name. He played young Han Solo. I think he was recently in Ironheart as Obadiah Stane's son. And then there are a few other familiar faces. One of them was Wong in Doctor Strange. I forget his name. Sorry. I believe his name is Benedict Wong. There you go, because he plays Wong and his last name is Wong. He's in it, and other familiar faces. But I enjoyed the film. I was pleasantly surprised, even though I knew the story going in, because I did kind of spoil myself with the review. I even just reading the plot and what I knew about it, I just wasn't sold. I wasn't as invested because the way it came off and what I was hearing, that it came off as somewhat comedy with some horror elements. I was like, I don't know. I don't like what I'm hearing, but I enjoyed it. Again, after I guess there was the chapter with Julia Garner's character, because it kept showing her she's drinking. She goes to the store, the liquor store, and she's this teacher who her students never showed up, and people are like at her, like, what's going on? She did this. They all left at 2:15, 2:30, the kids from her class. Like, the parents saw the ring cameras of the kids running off. And in my mind, I'm like, all these parents were asleep, or they couldn't have noticed that these children were up and going off. Now, I mean, it's possible, I guess, in this small town, and if they're sleeping at a certain time, but it just, in most cases, I guess I feel like wouldn't at least one of the characters, the parents have caught their children running off. But that's just a thing for me. It doesn't necessarily ruin the story or what happened with that particular classroom. But it was pretty trippy. It's this, I guess she's a witch lady. Now, I heard the theories of how it's a parasite within the lady, and it's able to kind of like spread itself, and it was able to, but it doesn't make sense, because it's like, that's a theory, the whole parasite thing, because the teacher in the beginning, I believe she was talking about parasites or something. At least that's what they said. To me, it was just the whole witch thing, because she's cutting herself, putting it in the twig, wrapping. It can be something of the person wrapping it around the twig with her blood, and then she snaps it, and like she's in control of them. Now, I read the director gave the actress two possibilities of what could be going on with that character, or like who she is, and she was to take one of them and build that as her character as she's performing. And she didn't tell the director, so he doesn't know what she chose. But I'm intrigued to know, like, what was it that he's told her to choose? What were the options of what this character is? Because to me, I look at it and I'm like, she's just a witch. I don't need to go into more deep. I don't need more information other than that, because I see what she's doing, and to me, it's just witch stuff. And for whatever reason, she, took control of the boy's parents. She was the aunt that came over. The sister brought her over because she's dying apparently, but she took over the parents, and the boy has to feed them apparently, and just do what she says. And then eventually, he finds out that she's throwing up, and she's like, I'm dying, and she tells him to bring stuff from the kids in his classroom. So he brings, all the whatever that's of the kids, and she does her thing, and they all go to the apartment of the boy's house, where the boy lives, the nephew that she told to do things, and keeps them in the basement for whatever reason. You would assume maybe like she's gonna do something for their youth so she can, de-age, get younger. I don't know. They don't really say much other than she keeps them in the basement and she's gonna leave off. Now she's gonna leave off with the kids. I don't know about that because they don't kind of really say. She's just saying that she's gonna take her nephew. He's gonna come with her and they're gonna go off. I was a little confused as to what was the purpose of taking the kids. But, it was interesting. I liked the whole story. I was involved after it, started to take off, and the chapters of the characters, were interesting. You see what's going on in the town with these different characters and how they get affected by, the lady who ends up controlling the cop and the drug addict. And eventually she does take over Josh Brolin. But, once she's killed, like, he's released and whatnot. Like, in the ending, it was crazy how the kids chased her. She's running. Like, that was comedic, or it was funny, but I wouldn't say it was much of a comedy, like I thought from what I was hearing. But I enjoyed it. It was, I felt like I didn't need so much backstory for who this lady was. I guess in the ending, I wasn't sure what her end game was for the film. Like, what was her purpose? Was she trying to get young? Like, they never really say anything, other than that maybe I might get young if you bring me stuff from the children, but I don't even know if she was going to take the children with her. Like, I was a little confused, but I might have missed something, but I really enjoyed Weapons. The title doesn't seem to follow the film itself. Especially there was a scene where Josh Brolin is dreaming. He finds the house in his dream where the kids were taken, but there's like a machine gun on the top. And that was a little weird. Like, I forgot about that until I read a review and how they mentioned, like, what was the purpose of that. And then someone was saying, like, oh, that's implying that she's using people as weapons, like when she had Benedict Wong's character go after Julia Garner's character. Like, she controlled them to, like, kill, if she wants. So it's like using them as weapons. But I'm like, that's still a little weird, like the machine gun, if that was the implication. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, I think it's a cool film to just sit down and check out. A little slow in the beginning. Again, I was just like nodding off, but it picked up and I was into it and I really enjoyed it. So check it out. Thank you so much for listening and watching my video. If you want to see more, check out my other movie reviews. And again, I do short films. Check those out. I will be coming out with an update for my latest short film. 2 short films that are coming out. One that I'm working on currently, and the other that's already done, and I'm putting into the festivals right now. So look out for a video for that. Thank you so much. Until next time. Later.